We're talking about Dylan.
Yes.
This movie. It's a movie about Dylan, as everybody will
Yes.
know. It is, however, not a biopic in the normal sense. Ones like Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash one. There was Ray Charles. There was Coal Miner's Daughter. And these are all stories of overcoming adversity.
Exactly what I was going to say. That's the major difference. He doesn't overcome what is you could set up. It could be sickness, poverty, blindness, you know, any
Or
of those.
worse. I mean,
anything.
Biopics, they always overcome, generally.
This, he doesn't overcome. He just
Is.
grows. He
He
grows as it's kind of organic human being going. And the title, I'm Not There, each time he grows internally, emotionally, whatever.
Each time you think you've caught him, he's somebody else.
Yes.
This is a reverse biopic. If you don't know the guy's life before you go in, don't bother to go.
I agree totally, because I kept being very nervous. I didn't quite understand every nuance of this picture.
That's right. 6 different actors play Dylan at different stages of his life. It is a non-linear biography. There are these moments, and it's up to you, it's up to the audience to connect them. He gives you a bunch of dots. There's no attempt made to connect them. And that's a very interesting intellectual concept.
And it's no one's real name, so you're not even able to connect the name to the person.
And that's about all to be said for it. And there's music throughout.
Yes,
And
Dylan's music.
And each section represents him at a certain stage of his career. To show how extreme it is, the first one he's played by maybe a 10-year-old African-American kid with a hobo in a freight car.
Yes.
And this kid is playing a guitar and is a fan of Woody Guthrie, and is on his way to visit Woody Guthrie. Later on, there's certain things you can recognize. Julianne Moore is being interviewed, and if you know anything about Dylan, you recognize her as Joan Baez.
Yeah, but I didn't know that until I asked one of my sons. I didn't
I
realize.
whispered it to you.
Oh, did
during
you?
the movie.
Well, I didn't hear you.
Okay. But later on, there's a girl he has an affair with.
Who's she?
She's actually Edie Sedgwick.
Oh, yes, the one who has
Coco, she's called in the movie.
Yes, who's wild in London.
Kate Blanchett gives a new meaning to androgynous. It shows that, I mean, a beautiful woman like Kate Blanchett has only to put on dark glasses and a wig.
And they must have flattened her bosom unless she doesn't have
She
one.
doesn't have much anyway. But I mean,
and funny little short
and
hair.
her voice, she has a low voice anyway, but it is extraordinary. She is Dylan, saying, I don't know, man, that kind of thing. And she is, I would say,
wonderful.
I'm no Dylanologist, but I would say she's closer, if there's such a thing as the real Dylan. Yes. Kate Blanchett plays that part.
The last moment on the screen is actually Dylan singing.
The real Dylan.
The real Dylan, and it's wonderful. I mean, I love the movie. Even though I didn't know when Richard Gere shows up
That's ridiculous.
as Billy the Kid. He shows up as Billy the Kid, and I thought, yeah, Bob Dylan was in Sam Peckinpah's movie.
Yeah, you whispered that to me.
But obviously you remember everything I say, and I don't always remember what you say, Lorenzo. I'm sorry to say.
Find a new geezer? Any geezers out there?
There is a wonderful scene where he goes to some large black family, and the woman says, you know, you've got to get over, you're not singing folk songs anymore. Come to your own time. There is no depression.
That's right, sing about your own time.
Because he had something to sing about. He had the Vietnam War.
All his songs are the generational songs. He's a giant.
I don't think it's going to have a young audience. And it's going to have a boomer audience, which 50-year-olds who were brought up on Dylan.
I can imagine people walking out of this movie and figuring that it was just like a film school pastiche put together of things. I can imagine that.
Yes.
And actually, they wouldn't be altogether wrong. But the point is just whether the scenes are so interesting in themselves. Todd Haynes is one of my favorite directors. He made one of my very favorite movies, is a movie called Safe, that very few people I say have seen, with Julianne Moore. He also was very big in his other wonderful movie, Far From Heaven.
Which I found juvenile.
And how did it get made? Because he's Todd Haynes, is that right?
Because he got Bob Dylan to agree to use the music. I mean, the whole thing of making movies with people who own their music, you have to get them to agree, and he agreed. Because I'm sure everyone has wanted to make a Dylan movie.
Actually, I believe 2 great documentaries. Scorsese did one, and Pennebaker did one.
Yes.
I mean, there are 2 movies about Dylan.
Was that called Don't Look Back?
Yes.
But you know what? It's probably Todd Haynes. He is an artist, sees himself as an artist, and he is telling that I'm able to think up whatever I want to think up and put it on the screen, and found someone to pay for it. It's the Weinstein Group, right, who put up the money and who I guess have always been daring about what movies they make, and this is one.
I would recommend people see this if they
Yeah.
get a chance to.
Yes.
And then they can come and punch me in the nose if they can find me.
Okay.
I won't refund their money.